and welcome back. This one comes to us from Daniel Beltran, who asked the question, who would fight Deku at 30% of his power, which would have been right around the, if I remember correctly, the joint training arc, the class training arcs, which is actually one of my favorite ones. I always, when I reread it a lot, sometimes that's one I'll just reread because I just like the versus format of class versus class. That's a lot of fun. But yeah, so that'd be right around there, which means he'd suddenly access Black Whip at that point. Honestly, actually, 30% would be him being able to control Black Whip, because we know he can hit about 45% safely by the time we get to the first real battle with Shigaraki in the War Arc. But again, you have to be. All I had was 30% here. So technically speaking, I literally could use Deku right now with just him using 30%. My guess is what you actually meant, basing on what you gave me with Naruto, is when he first had access to around 30%. I think that's what you were implying. So that's what we'll go off of. And he was able to access Black Whip, although barely at that point. Took him a while to really get that. Versus Tsunade arc Naruto. Tsunade Naruto, this is where he first learned this, right at the end he learned how to do the Rasengan, so we gotta give him the Rasengan. Has all his shadow clones. He's a reasonable fighter. He's not super powerful, mind you, but, he's not super powerful or anything like that, but he's definitely, he's advanced since the beginning of the series. He does have the Toad summoning contract, and he does have access to the Nine-Tails chakra, although it's still not something he can just generally access. He can try sometimes, but he's not capable of really like just summoning Nine-Tails chakra. Deku at this point in the series was capable of using, 30% of One for All, which made him pretty powerful. He was using his shoot style. He was capable of using full cowling, which was, again, 30%. He's capable of creating, like, gusts of sonic blasts, not sonic blasts, but giant powerful gusts of wind. And as he ultimately got access to Black Whip. Now, I believe 30%, he was still around there when he was finally able to kind of start controlling Black Whip to some degree. It wasn't until, again, we got more onto the War Arc where he was able to do 45% and in increments. So, yeah, and Deku is, by all accounts, the better fighter between him and Naruto at this point in their respective series. He's also, obviously, just the more intelligent. So, if these two were to meet in a fight, what would happen? Well, unfortunately for Naruto, Midoriya, isn't moving like at sonic speeds of like sound or anything like that. He is capable of moving very much faster than the most human eyes could pick up, especially at 30%. He's also much stronger than Naruto, capable of delivering much more powerful blows. I wouldn't go so far as to say they're Tsunade level at this point, but they're certainly powerful. And unlike Naruto, he can attack from range. And he could definitely use that to his advantage. Naruto is not helpless because he's very easily capable of spamming his clones. And if he needed to, he could access the Fox's chakra. Unfortunately, summoning Gamabunta probably isn't going to happen just because of the he only ever did it successfully one time within the canon. Actually, no, sorry, twice. One in the training and one against Shikaku, because he was perfectly fine when him and Jiraiya were going up against Orochimaru, and he still couldn't summon Bunta. So, unless he's using the Fox Chakra at that point, it's not likely that he would be able to summon Bunta. And even if he did, Deku is such a small target that Bunta would probably just get fed up and just F off, unless he's able to just pin him down. In which case, keep in mind, Deku can go beyond the 30%. 30% is just a safe margin. And that's where I think this fight would generally stay, is the safe margin. But if he had to, absolutely he could push himself plus ultra beyond. He would just ultimately take down Bunta. Unfortunately, it would screw him up overly. Oh, I think sadly though this would come down to tactics and physicality, and sadly Deku's got Naruto beat in all fronts there. Now, is Naruto tricky at points? Absolutely. If Deku got in close and Naruto was prepped and ready and maybe grabbed onto him, could he hit him with a Rasengan? Sure. Would that Rasengan put Deku down? I don't think so. Deku's physicality in terms of his physical body and just how durable he was and strength wise, I think is a lot higher than Kabuto's, who was able to immediately, survive that by using his chakra to heal himself. But even that wasn't enough to really save him. I think Deku, from the attacks we've seen him take, even in the 30% range, would be hurt by a Rasengan, certainly, but he would not be put down by it. And he basically realized, I can't let him hit me with that again. If he hits me with that again, I might not get back up this time. So next time he sees Naruto starting to do it, he rushes in. Maybe I just constantly activates Black Whip, stops Naruto's hand from multi-chakra, and just cracks him straight in the face and knocks him out cold. Now, the only other scenario that would be relevant here is if the Fox Chakra were involved. If the Fox Chakra is involved, now Naruto actually has a bit of an edge over Deku, but only for a short time. What I mean by that is this. Deku's ability is still hazardous on his body. One for All is still hazardous on his body. Even in the low margins, it's still going to put some levels of strain on his body. However, he's used to it. Whereas Naruto's Fox Chakra, he will eventually run out of whatever chakra he's being given. And then the Fox would theoretically have to replenish it. But at that point, they're both actually moving at similar speeds, capable of disappearing from the human eye if need be, capable of delivering similar bouts of strength with each other. So at that point now, it just comes down to who's going to be smarter with how they're fighting and who wants it more. Both of these are shonen protagonists, so they both want it probably equally. The question is who's going to be able to fight more effectively, and I think that's actually going to still come down to Deku. Deku's still the more clever individual. He's still the smarter guy, and he's honestly still the better fighter between the two at this point in the series. If we were to get to say Shippuden era Naruto, we'd be having probably a different conversation on skill level. But as it stands, Naruto could certainly put up a fight. I'm not arguing that whatsoever. He could certainly put up a fight. And is there avenues for him to win? 100% there are avenues for him to win. 100%. If he can get at least a Rasengan off on Deku, he would be in a much better spot because Deku would definitely feel it and be hurt. Wouldn't put him down, I don't think, but he'd be hurt. The problem would just come from getting a second Rasengan off, because once that first one hits him, Deku's going to do everything in his power to not let the second one. Sorry, did I say second? When that first one hits him, Deku's going to do everything he can to stop Naruto from using the second one on him. Of course, he will also notice that he can't throw the technique, which is a benefit to him. So he can just attack from range if he has to, and just kind of boom, 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 pile drive Naruto. I didn't even bring up the shock, the air gusts. So, yeah, I think Deku's going to take this. Naruto's got tenacity. He's got a couple wild card abilities that Deku would not necessarily be prepared for, and he's clever in his own right. But Deku's just, I think, got the physicality over Naruto. He's got the overall skill at this point in the respective series, and he's got the better head on his shoulders. So I would go Deku at 30%, but let me know in the comments below what you think. Until then, though, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you for the next one.